Hey guys, it's Glenn from Glenn'sCarCollection.com, and we are in a 997 GT3. Now this is a .1 model, a 997.1, which they made 2 model years. So I always talk about model years, not calendar years. So if you live in Europe and Canada, your model years are going to be different. Here they made in 2007 and 2008, they made the 997.1 GT3, 3.6 liter flat six. And if you live in Europe or Canada, I believe you have a 2006 model year, which you don't have here. Now this car has a very stiff clutch. So it's, you know, the modern, the 991.2 GT3 is a much more usable car than this. This is almost like old school. So what I love about the 997s, it's loud in here. Oh, look at that. That's, what is that 3-wheel car? Name in the comments below. Alex Roy drove around in one. This is just an amazing car. The sharpness, the turn-in, the analog feeling of this car. These cars have almost doubled in value since they came out. So in 2019, I thought about selling my McLaren for one, and they were about 80 grand. And I was looking at a CPO one where the Porsche dealer wanted 93 grand, and I said, I can't overpay for this car. I'm not gonna buy it, which was the dumbest thing I ever did, because now that car is like 150 grand. And I'd probably be selling it right now if I bought it for 90 and it was worth 150, but. So this has the Sport Chrono, so we're gonna take it for a quick drive. I'm gonna hit a really cool S-turn road in a second. Then we'll pull over, going over interior and exterior features. Then we'll hit some great roads on the way back. So please make sure to watch the entire video. Special thanks to DCH Acura in Verona, New Jersey, because they always have, besides new and used Acuras, they have about 80 Glenn cars in stock. Everything from 997 GT3 manuals to McLarens and Ferraris. We just drove a 992 Turbo S. Not sure which video I'll post first, so make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see both of those videos. Like and share, and always comment below. All right, so this is old school, bro. These cars only came in a stick shift. So if you want a 997 GT3 or GT3 RS, you got to know how to drive stick, because there's 3 pedals. You have your typical 997 steering wheel here, but it's Alcantara. Now we're going to downshift to second. And again, there's no rev matching. Even with the Sport Chrono, they didn't have rev matching back then. And you have a very stiff clutch. And not only do you have a stiff clutch, this is a 2007 model, so it will roll back on hills. So if you're new to driving stick or not good driving stick, you might want a 991.2, because the clutch is easier, and so is, you don't have to worry about rolling back. Even if you stall, like on the 2017, like my car, it'll start the car for you. Not here. It stalls, you got to start the car. All right, so we got Cup 2s. I think there's heat in them, where it's about 70 degrees today. Now, it comes alive at the top of the rev band. There is no power, as you saw, at 3,000 RPM. As we got 4 to 5, it took off. It's got about an 8,400 red line. I know people say 8,600, but 84 before you kind of get into that red area. Now, it does track over rev, so when you buy one of these cars, you want to do, maybe I'll do an over rev video just to tell you what it's all about. So over revs, you could hook it up to the DME, and it'll tell you how many times it's been past the red line. But on GT3s, most GT3s have 0 over revs, and the reason they have 0 over revs is because it's a higher threshold where that RPM is until they consider it a over rev. Now it's all 997 in here, so if I didn't show you the Alcantara steering wheel and showed you everything else, you could swear this is just a regular 997. Brake pedal is very stiff on this car, but we have steel brakes, so ceramics were optional. Ceramics, I think, were an $8,000 option, maybe a little less than that. And you probably get half of that back in resale. So I don't think you get the whole $8,000 back, but you probably get at least $5,000. Now, there are a lot of Porsche purists that would not buy one of these without ceramic brakes. I prefer the steel because the ceramics wear, even though they're better for the track, they wear quickly at the track. Oh my, is this guy gonna go? No. Now this is a real rough road, so this will test that suspension. Now we do have an adjustable suspension. We could drive in sport mode, which gives us a more lively throttle, and then we could drive with the shock set in Sport, which is really like a track mode. It's very, very stiff. I'll do that on the smooth road. Remind me when we get back, because this road is brutal, and the camera will be unwatchable if I do that now. So like at 3,000 RPM, we really have no power. So now we have to heel toe ourselves. I'll get the revs up there. Ooh, baby. And even at 3,500, I just got out of the 992 Turbo S, so of course that spoiled me. So even there's very little, though it sounds great, there's very little power at that RPM. But what I remember driving the 997 GT3 when they came out, I did one of those drives with Rob Ferretti in Gotham, is how quickly and sharply it turned in. And back in 2007, I was doing probably 50 track days a year. And watch out, Mr. Amazon. And it was no car in 2007, no production car you could buy off the showroom floor would turn like this. All right, so now we'll get in and out and go over the features of the car. Hey guys, it's Glenn from glenscarcollection.com, and we're driving one of my favorite cars, the 997.1 GT3. We're here in the US, was only made model years 2007 and 2008. You have a flat 3.6 liter. You have a fixed rear wing. You have a sports suspension. Now, I think painted black wheels. These were either painted aftermarket, or Porsche had an option for black wheels. This has the sports seats, which most of them do, and the sports seats gives you the hard back here. You have a trunk and a frunk, so that's the front trunk and that's the rear. So we can see the engine here. There's not much to see. And there you go. It looks all stock. That's the stock earpiece. So beautiful, great condition. I'll have to check the mileage on this car. All right. It's only a 2-seater, so if you have kids, you're out of luck. And this is the front. So now the GT3 RS has had a sticker here. This is actually the regular Porsche emblem. And on the rear drive cars, you have this bigger trunk. I think the battery is still up here like my 2017 911. And you have the deeper trunk here on the rear drive cars. GT3s only come with a manual and only come in rear drive. That's how you close that. You have a sunroof too. All 997, at least .1 GT3s had a sunroof. So we'll get into the Alcantara seat. I like that, the GT3 here with the, I'm going to take a picture of that. All right, so this car has 30,000 miles, almost 31. Now I'm going to start at the keys on the left. Let's put our seatbelt on first. It has some carbon fiber trim pieces here. How you adjust the mirror is over here, left or right, very convenient. You have your lights. Ignition is always on the left in Porsches. There you go, fire up that flat 6. Same controls in the early 997.1s as in the 987 Boxster and first gen Cayman and Cayman S. This is optional, having the carbon fiber parking brake, and it's manual, so you can actually take your driver's test in this in New Jersey. And carbon fiber gear level as well. And the airbag would shut off if you had a child in here. When I first got my Cayman S, like if you have a child in here and it's underweight, it would actually shut the airbag off. All right, and we do, it looks like we have Bluetooth here on this car, that's aftermarket, and of course, they come with a sunroof. They also come with a very stiff clutch. So if you're not good at driving stick, or you're gonna say, I'm gonna have a GT3 and drive it all the time, let's put it in sport mode right here. You have your climate control, and I notice it's not dual climate control, which I know is optional on some of the lesser 911s and Boxsters and Caymans. All right, so let's go. Now it's a stiff ride. There's a G-Wagon. We just posted one of those. Now this is loud. This looks like an aftermarket exhaust to me. The key that we had from the Porsche is the same as I had in my Cayman. So the key doesn't tell you if you're driving something special like the GT3 or you're driving something base like a Cayman or a Boxster. Now this is a very, very stiff road that we're on now. We're going to get onto a really good road in about 5 minutes, so bear with me here. So I'm not even going to use, I have it in sport mode for that heightened throttle response. You get that with the sport chrono option. And then you have also the Porsche Stability PASM or PSM, I get them confused. where you get the suspension. So there's really a normal setting, which we're in now, and then a sports setting, which we'll use in a minute. So again, this exhaust sounds to me aftermarket, which is good. That's what you're going to do anyway. So save the money buying one with it. I don't really hear any drones, so it sounds good here. Speedometer goes up to 225, wishful thinking, of course, but we'll take it. Alcantara steering wheel, which I mentioned earlier. Otherwise, it's just the baseline N7. All right, and the shifter feels short to me. I wonder, GT3 definitely has the shorter shifter, but I think this may be an aftermarket or a Porsche short shifter, because it does feel a little shorter and tighter to me, which is good. I really like it. So let's see, are we in sport mode? Yep. So when you press the button for sport, it'll come up here next to your speedometer. And none of these roads here are smooth, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the sport suspension. The sport suspension on the 997s or 987 Boxster and Cayman is really a track-only suspension, because it is, I can feel the difference. I don't know if you can, but it is very, very stiff in here. All right, so now the GT3, where the turbo was about the straightaways, the GT3 really doesn't come into its own until you hit 5,000 RPM. So the GT3s are all about handling. The more spirited driving you'll do, the more you'll want the GT3. The more highway, or I'll call normal driving, errands, taking your kids to school, long distance driving, you'll want the, have to heel toe myself, you'll want the turbo. So I bet you, though I would want the GT3, I bet you, and maybe those of you watching, so let me know GT3 or turbo in the comments below. But most people who say they want a GT3, I don't think really want a GT3, and that's why there's so many low mileage ones. They're really better off with a turbo. So I've had friends that like cars, but I wouldn't call them like crazy enthusiasts like us, and they always tell me they want GT3, and I say, well, what are you gonna do with it? You're gonna commute to work, take your kids to school, go on highway trips down the Jersey Shore or upstate. You're going to want the turbo, because it's going to be more comfortable and you're going to have the passing power. Not that this car is slow. These cars, I think we're in the low 4s, 4.1 seconds to 60, somewhere in that range, which is really all you need. And it's so visceral getting there that you'll never drive this car and say, I want more power. But coming out of the 992 Turbo, which I just filmed an hour before this one, you really notice the difference, because that car at 3,000 RPM takes off like a rocket. This car, even though the sound starts early, you really have no power until you hit about 5,000. So we'll take the sport suspension off. And now that we're stopped at a light, what do we do at lights? We subscribe. If you watch this far, you might as well be a subscriber. I have 900 videos. You could binge watch my channel for 3 years before you'd see a duplicate video. So we've done 800 cars. I've owned 100 cars. We have 900 videos. Most are manual transmission sports cars or exotics. So here's the time to subscribe. If you miss a video, you won't get the next one unless you hit that notification bell. So make sure you hit it. I checked, according to YouTube stats, only 10% of my subscribers has hit the notification bell. Like and share. I'm about at 16,000 subscribers. I want to get to 20, because that'll open a lot more doors for me, hopefully some more press cars. So please get me to 20,000 subscribers. How can you do that? Subscribe and share my videos. And always like and comment. Let me know in the comments below, since we've done 900 cars or 800 cars, what car you want to see next. So always do that every single video, and let me know what car you want me to review next, and then I will do my best to make it happen. All right, so now the turbo, well, we were in the lap of luxury, and it's not fair to compare a $200,000 or $300,000 turbo with a 15-year-old GT3, but the turbo was just like so luxurious. It had the full leather, you know, I guess it's the doctor or dentist car, and not that they're not car enthusiasts, because they are and have great tests in cars, but this is, you know, this is the track car. This is the, you're not going to like yourself driving around town or waiting in the school line with this car because of the stiff clutch and the stiff suspension, but it's definitely a more visceral drive than the turbo. All right, so this is now where the car shines, at traffic lights. So we'll probably end the video here. So thanks for watching all the way to the end. Again, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment below what video you want to see next. What car should I review next? I'll review any car you want me to. Just let me know in the comments. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.